Have you ever wondered how to access the ServiceNow Now platform Future Flow Designer? Or have you ever wondered how to give the delegated development environment to your developers? I've got an answer for that on this episode. Hi, I'm Mohammed Kamal. Let's hop onto the laptop and get started. We did yesterday. On today's episode, I would like to walk you through a couple of things in the Flow Designer. This is our second episode, which is a subsequent episode on Flow Designer. So we have a social media application, and for that we have got two developers who are a delegated developer, and I'm gonna walk you through how we can do a delegated developer, and as well as how we can access the Flow Designer in two ways. Yeah, so let's get started from showing you how we can access the Flow Designer. So the Flow Designer, there are two options to access it. The first one is from the studio. So if you write studio right here, then make sure you are on the right scope. So you're gonna write studio, and you got here the social media management. So that's making you that you are on that social media scope. So that is the scope, and that was application scope you are. So from here you can go ahead and create applications. For example, if you are going to create a flow, we will discuss what a flow is later, which is an automated process consisting of a sequence of actions or a trigger. So you click over there, and then you just need to click the button here. It's a create. So this is going to, when I create this flow, it's just going to be created exactly on this scope, which is the social media application. Okay, great. That's one way of accessing the social media application. There's another way of accessing the Flow Designer. So the second way is you go ahead and write Flow Designer. So under Flow Designer, which is the menu right here in the application navigator, you have got the Flow Designer. Within there you have the designer. Today's execution, active flow, inbound email flows, event queue, operations dashboard. There is a setting as well as properties where you can configure the flow with that property, and you click the edit button over here. So since I have that permission, this edit button or the edit pane is here for me, but based on your role it may not show on your instance or in your company instance. Great, let's go ahead and click the designer here. So when you click the designer, make sure that you are on your scope, on your application scope, and from there you go ahead and click the designer. So this designer will actually open on a new window. Let's give it a few minutes, and then it will open on a new window. Great. Now we have got here a couple of things. One is the flows. There is subflows, actions, executions, and as well as help. Help is basically if you need any help regarding this the flow designer related like flows, subflows, or actions. If you click the help button over here, it will take you to the specific documentation regarding the flows. Then if you want to create a new one, that's how you can go ahead and create. So at the top right there, which is not right now visible, it's called the landing page link. The landing page link. And then right after that, what we can see right here, the flows, subflows, actions, those are the link to the list. These are the link to the list, and that's where you can create a new flows, okay, or subflows or actions. So if you click the menu icon over here, you can see that you have flows, subflows, and actions. So whatever list you have, they're going to show you here. Now what you can see right here is the flows. If I click on subflows, the subflow list will show up. If I click on actions, the actions, any actions that I have already created before, it will show up. Let's say, what are the actions I have? These are the name of the actions. And then that's are the name, which is the internal name. And that's the application. They are specifically showing the application you create them. That's what we have: the connected Spark, connect Spark, customer service Spark, or the ITSM Spark. So if you created anyone, and you can see if they are what the status they are, whether they are published or unpublished. So you can see that. And sometimes they may be active or inactive. That's what you can see over here on this column and over there. And the other one is updated by. Who update them? Some of them can be by admin or by the system, or can be by individual who can be updated. And that's the time is very important, especially when you are trying to see the actions or the flows or subflows that has been created before. Great. That's how we can identify. And the other important thing here is we can select the ServiceNow icon at the top left. Okay, now you're not gonna see it because I zoomed out so that you can see what I have right here. So if you click that icon on the top left page, it will return you to the Flow Designer landing page. Okay, it's gonna return you to the Flow Designer landing page. That is the ServiceNow logo icon. So that's the link it has. So the image show it has a VTB, which is the visual task board sample flows that open in the design environment for you. Great. Let's go ahead and see. That's the flow we have. And then with that said, I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple of things here. I'm going to go ahead and open the design environment, the flow design environment, and I'll show you a couple of things there. So with the studio, right, the flows, actions, executions, that's the help. So the help, you have the documentation, any videos that ServiceNow has published, you can see them right there, and the community discussion if there is a couple of community discussions up there. Great. With that said, I'm gonna go ahead and take you a couple of things here, especially regarding the giving those two delegated developer or by role. So you can assign a flow designer by delegating development permission. So if you don't want to show it, if you don't want to give the role directly to the user, an admin role, you can just delegate them to do the work. Okay, so for that, what you can do, I'll go ahead and show you that quickly. Here what I have. Here what I have, I'm going to go to my instance, I'll go to system application and then studio. Okay, then you select that application right there, navigate to the file management. Okay, we are on the studio right here, we are on the studio. We're going to go ahead and open the file management. So I'm going to navigate to the file management. This is the studio, and from there I'm going to go ahead and open file management. I'm not seeing it here. All right. File, manage developer. Let's go ahead and see file. Oh, I'm sorry. Right there. File. See right there at the top. Yep. File. Then manage developer. See right here. Manage developer. Okay. It's not on the application navigator what we can navigate it here, but it is at the top as a menu. So you go there, file, then manage developers. You see right there, 3 developers right there. So you click manage developers here. And now what you can do from here, you can select the users. So the developers are the users here. Or you can give a group permission. If you want to have a group of users, you can do that. But what I want to do here, the developers. So one of the developer I have here, let's say Abel Tutor, he's an architect, and you can select that user. Now you can give whatever role, okay? It's just very simple. You just turn on those buttons here. For example, file type access. If you want to give all file type access, you just turn on that button here, okay? So what you can do here, specifically on the flow designer, I'll turn on the flow designer, okay? You just need to find the flow designer, security entitlement, program, deployment, and file type, security, that's for a Abel Tutor. So, okay, table, allow scripting, manage SEL, upgrade app, publish to app, publish to app repo. Those all wasn't be possible previously, but these are, the new features. The publish to app, they can publish, right? Reporting, all file type, integration, service portal, table, workflows, and flow designer. That's what we are currently looking for. So you just need to tap on the flow designer and you go ahead and save it. So Abel Tutor now, he can be able to go ahead and log in, and he can have that role here to work on this application regarding the flow designer. So once we do that, we can save it. Then Abel will have that role automatically. There are 3 roles. So when I come and share with you, there are 3 roles related with the flow designer. The first one is the flow designer. With the flow designer role, it enables users to launch the flow designer, the environments, so that they can create or they can edit the flows and the subflows. Okay, there are flows and subflows as well. For example, if I want to create here and come here, there is flows, okay, there is subflows, okay, there is flows, and you can create actions. Okay, in the flow designer you can create actions or flows or subflows. That's what they can do if you give them the flow designer role. So the other important is action designer. In the action designer, okay, in the action designer, if you give them an action designer role, this user, what they can do is they will have a little bigger role, which enable them, the user, to launch the action designer environment to create and edit actions. Okay, it's about actions. Okay, right there. So to create that action, they have the action designer role. So that's how we can do. But I want to point out here that when you grant the flow designer role, it just requires granting an admin role. Okay, it's like granting an admin role, so you gotta make sure that that user, if they need to have that kind of role or not. Great. With that said, so we have on today's episode, we have this. I want to recap that we have discussed about how we can access the flow designer. One is through the studio and the other one is through the application navigator. And the other 2 important things that we discussed is how we can grant permission for a developer, for a given developer, to work on the flow designer. The first one is by granting a role. Okay, we can grant them role, either of the 3 roles, which is the action designer, flow designer, flow operator, and the flow operator. So we can give them those roles, either of those, or we can give all of those roles so they can be able to develop with the flow designer. And the other way is we can give them a role using the delegated developer. Okay, delegated developer. So that is possible through the studio, again over here under file, manage developers, and we can find that developer over here and we can turn on those. When you select a given user, it will come up right there, and we just did this one for Abel Tutor, and you just need to save it. Okay, those are the 2 ways of giving roles or granting access to develop for a given user. I hope you guys get important information regarding this flow designer. On the next episode, I will wait for you to work on a couple of things on flows and actions as well. Until we see each other, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channels to get new videos. This is Mohammed Kamal from the Global Mindset University. Till we see each other, have a great day. Bye. That's all we have for today. Feel free to drop your comment below, or you can send me directly at contact@servicenowstar.com. Don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe to our channel to get more new videos. Until we see each other with the next episode, take care.